Today, I'm going to talk about listening. And it's really, really important, especially now when there's so much angst and so much nervousness, and people are feeling dangerous and things are just out of the ordinary. So, what happened? People talk. People talk because they're so nervous. And they may be talking about deep feelings or just venting. But it's really important that when people are talking, and when we're talking, of course, that people are listening. And that's what I want to talk about today, is how to be a better listener. Um, Before we get started, well, a few things. Um, I want to ask you this now, and I'll ask you this at the very end after we've gone through some tips on how to become a better listener. So here's my question, and you think about it. Do you think you're a good listener? Do you think you're a good listener? And if you do think you're a good listener, what makes you a good listener? I'm Debbie Gerbec of Second Half Transitions. And if you go to my website, secondhalftransitions.com, on the homepage, fill out the form and I'll send you a free download, my pamphlet, How I Found My Inspiration and How You Can Find Yours in 3 Steps. So, yes, listening. Um, when you're talking and the person you're talking to's eyes glaze over and they're bored, they're not listening, they wish they weren't there, and you really feel crappy about yourself. Like, how could you not take this personally? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't like when that happens and it doesn't feel good in any way at all. So that person is clearly not listening. So that is an example of poor listening. Um, Again, it's so important these days to really listen and hear what people have to say. And also, a lot of us are buried in our phones and we're not listening and we're not connecting. And we've lost the art of listening and having give and take conversations and communications. Sometimes you choose to fill out a form rather than pick up the phone and call somebody. If that's a choice, let's say on a business website, chat with someone. It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to have to call. That's one step away from having a give and take conversation. And sometimes when you actually call that person, you may have a really good time and make that person's day. So, so much happens when we're listening and really hearing what someone has to say. First and foremost, we're really allowing them, the person who's talking, to have their much needed space. We're really allowing them to talk about what's troubling them or what have you, and it gives them just the space to open up more. And uh, also, what happens is we're really engaged, we're in the moment, we're really listening and hearing, and we're also concentrating. So, all these things play a part in how to really listen to someone and what's going on while we're listening to them. What's also happening is we're synthesizing. We're trying to figure out what is this person saying? What does it mean? Um, at the same time of letting go and disengaging from our own ego. Everything is for the other person. We're just stepping aside from our own ego and our own thing. And also we're developing a skill of patience, depending on what they're talking about. Um, and we're also learning things. So those are all what goes into when you are listening, when you're being a good listener. On the flip side, here comes my pet peeve. I think this is one of my pet peeves of all time. When um, when somebody is talking at you, they're just aggressive and they're just talking at you. It doesn't matter whether you're standing there. It doesn't matter what you have to say. You're clearly not part of their agenda and they're just talking at you. It just makes me want to run the other way. I can't stand it. And this just happens So often when I used to go to networking events in person, you would just find somebody who's talking at you and they are telling all about themselves. I was just like, oh, I really just want to run away. So that is a prime example of poor listening. And so here's some other examples of poor listening. Uh, so you're talking and the other person is assuming they know what you're going to say next. And so they'll interrupt right away and start talking over you. And chances are they're not right and it's rude. And that's just an example of poor listening. The next thing is, oh yeah, okay. So somebody's talking and you can't wait for them to finish because you're already thinking about what you're going to say next. So as soon as they take a break to breathe or anything, you just jump right in and tell them what you were thinking. That's not a great example of listening. Um, the last thing is judging with a capital J. You're judging them. What's happening is you're not engaged, you're not there. You're in your head and you're thinking of your things. You're thinking about what you think they're going to say. You're thinking about what you're going to say next, and you're not with them. You're thinking and judging them, whether it's something personal like their hair or their clothes, or um, what you think they should be doing. These are just all examples of poor listening. So when you're a good listener, this is just the opportunity to enrich all of your relationships, your personal, your professional, your family, your even strangers, because what's happening is you're opening yourself up. And when you do that, you're hearing new things, you're learning new things, you're learning about that person on a deeper level. It's all good. It's just all really important. So, how do you become a better listener? My favorite acronym of all time is WAIT. WAIT. Wait, what does that mean? That means, why am I talking? It's just this awesome acronym because it's just a simple thing and you can remember it when you're listening to somebody. Um, you just remind yourself, wait, why am I talking? It's just you have to listen to them and figure out what they want to say. And if you feel that you need to say something, you can just wait and think about whether what you're telling them is worthy. Is it going to help them? You're not just chiming in. So wait is a great acronym. The next thing is empathize. Empathize. Really just step into their shoes. Imagine you are the one going through what they're going through. What are they feeling? What do you think that they're feeling? What do you think, yeah, on a deeper level, just what are they feeling? What are they going through? And this will allow you to really feel what they're feeling, and your responses will be more direct to them, and it will make them feel heard too. The third thing is to ask appropriate follow-up questions. That will tell them that you are listening and engaged in what they're saying. Um, and it also will give them the space to open up more. And the fourth thing is, okay, do me a favor. Don't try to fix something. It's human nature, especially as a parent, to just want to make things better. Like I think we're born that way, to just want everybody to be comfortable and just to make things better, I suppose. Now, when somebody talks to me, the first thing I do is ask them, are you looking for advice or do you just want to talk? Because that will give them the sense that it's okay to just talk, and also give me a clearer idea of what they want from me. If I feel like I feel, that they may want advice, but they didn't say so, then maybe I'll say something, but I'm really in tune with what they want by what they said. So don't try to fix everything. And lastly, this is kind of along the lines of the don't fix thing, is also don't try to make them feel better. again, somebody just wants to talk. I heard this woman the other day. She has an autistic son, and she said that people are always saying things like, "Oh, that's normal. That's how they act." And that did not make her feel better at all. She kind of reacted the opposite way. It's just like, "You don't know what I'm experiencing. You can't tell me that." So, just listen. Back to back to tip number one, just wait. Just listen. So now I go back to the very, very beginning and I ask yourself, or you ask yourself, do you think you're a good listener having heard everything that I said? And if not, how can you improve your listening skills? So I'm available for coaching, and if you want some help in your listening skills or anything else, please go to my website, secondhalftransitions.com. On the Work With Me page, fill out the form, and we can work out something. So thank you so much for showing up today. I'm really glad you came. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye.